Hey, what's up, guys? It's Gabe Monroe with NerdTech AI, and wanted to give you some tips today on your workflows in Go High Level, or if you're using my NerdTech platform, or if you're not, I can help you out with this as well. But just some basic tips here on constructing your workflows, I think will help make your guys' automations a lot more efficient. So I'm just going to start by creating a new one here, but we can see I have some workflows here. I have a folder called AI calls. And for example, I'll just show you one here. We have sales demo call. So if I click in this workflow here, whenever we trigger a call with error, we use this custom webhook here. And this reaches out to Air's API. We have a bear token, and then we tell it what script that we're going to call, and then it will place that call for us. So a lot of times people want to trigger multiple calls to happen. So basically like a drip sequence. I'm going to start from scratch here and show you how I would do that. So first you're going to want to do the, let's call this a new lead call trigger. All right, and then we're actually not going to have a trigger here because we're going to add people to this workflow from another workflow. All we're going to have in here is the webhook. We use the custom webhook, and then you would use the Air URL right here. You're going to do authorization bear token. This is going to be your Air API key. And then underneath ID right here, you're actually going to type in the ID of your script. So let's pretend like that's the ID. And we'll just type some stuff here. Air. Okay, this is not correct. I show in other videos on how to set this up. The purpose of this video is to just show you the structure on how I would do this. All right, cool. So now we have a new lead call trigger. So if we add anybody to this automation, boom, it's going to create a call. Now what most people do is they create like a wait, and a wait is going to be a delay. So we could wait 1 day, save, and then you can copy this, copy action, paste it here. So what we just did here is we created a call trigger. So it's going to make a call through Air AI, then it's going to wait a day, and then it's going to call again. Now we have another automation that if the call is answered, it will take them out of here. But this isn't the way I like to set it up for my drip campaign. So I'm going to delete this, and all we're going to do is set up the call right here. And I'll show you why here in a little bit, why I set it up this way. But this is going to be a very simple workflow, and we're just going to set up the call trigger. We're going to save it. We're going to go back, and then we're going to do another workflow. And this workflow is going to be, we're going to call it the new lead drip. So new lead drip is going to be the workflow that if we get a form or a new lead reaches out, maybe they call our business, then we're going to drip out messages to them so that we can try to book an appointment and get in contact with them. So your trigger on here could be, maybe it's a form submitted. So we could do form. Maybe you have somebody submit a Facebook form or something like that. And then this is going to enter them into the workflow. So maybe you want to send an SMS first. So an SMS, boom, SMS. So we save that. Then maybe you want to do like a ringless voicemail, and then you would upload a file. I probably have one. Let's see here. All right, we'll just upload this here, save, and then maybe you want to send an email. It's invalid. Let's see here. All right, so send an email, and then maybe if they don't answer, maybe we want to do all this and then wait. Let's say we want to wait, 20 minutes. And if they don't respond to that, maybe you want to reach out with an actual AI call. So to make that call, what we're going to do is we're going to add to workflow, and then we're going to do the new lead call trigger, that one right there, save. So what I just did was we created that workflow called new lead call trigger, and now we can add them to that call. trigger. So now we can wait a day, 1 day, save, and maybe we want to do this all over again. Copy, all actions, boom, and then we could wait another day and do it again. I'm just going to delete that. We'll say we're going to end it. But here we can see we're starting to build out a drip sequence. We go through some automations, we do a call, we wait a day, we do it again. Now, what is the benefit of not putting the call trigger here? I'll actually show you why I would do this, because in that call, let's go to the new lead call trigger, we have some variables in there that could often get changed. So sometimes people change their bear token for whatever reasons. Sometimes that one gets corrupt, or maybe you change accounts. You might need to change the bear token, and sometimes you might want to change the ID. The ID is the script ID, and often more than not, people will definitely change their script. They'll try different scripts, they'll want a different ID put in here, different things like that. Now you can do custom variables, and that helps, but some other stuff that you might want to do is maybe you want to add metadata. Maybe you want to add custom data for that script to reference, and as you go on in the future, maybe you don't know everything you want to add in the beginning, and let's say you want to refine your script and add more details like the business name, or maybe the address, or the type of industry they're in. That all would be metadata, and those are custom variables you can add to the script so that the AI actually references that in the call, depending on where that data is stored in here. So there's multiple things that you might want to change here. So if you had this call trigger in our drip right here, and a lot of people will build this out to where it could go out like months, and you could have 10, 20 different triggers. And if each one of this is a call trigger, you would have to come and find each one of these places here and change those variables so that it was updated. Whereas now you're referencing one place that you can go to change any of those variables if you need to, which is really, really handy. I actually also recommend doing that for voicemail. Voicemail is another one of those things where you might want to change it in the future, or maybe you change phone numbers. Maybe you leave a phone number on the voicemail and that's the wrong data. I've seen people that build out drips and they have 50 voicemail drops, and then boom, one day they want to change the voicemail. They got to come and change every single one. But you could have this spot right here be another add to workflow, and it points to one workflow where it's a very simple workflow, and it could be new lead RVM. RVM is ringless voicemail, and then you simply do a voicemail upload, no trigger, because the trigger is going to be adding them from the other workflow. Save, and then boom, we come back to our drip, and instead of actually adding voicemail here, we can delete this step and we'll add it to workflow, and we'll actually just find our voicemail workflow, new lead RVM, save, and now we are adding them to that workflow. So it's going to add them there, and then it's going to move on, and then it's going to add them to the call, and then it's going to move on. And it's just really, really handy. This comes from experience, where when you do these add to workflows, you're making your automations more simple, where you can go to one place to change what's in that workflow instead of having it in a lot of different places. So that's kind of one way that I structure my workflows. And also when I look at other people's automations, ways that I kind of help them simplify. If you're an agency and you're wanting to duplicate this for clients, another good way to, another good reason to do this is everybody's going to have their own ringless voicemail depending on what business they're in. So if you had 50 different ringless voicemails and your protocol was selling a snapshot to somebody, and then you had to tell that client that they had to go to each one of those voicemails and change it, you're just causing them a lot more work that's necessary when you can create one voicemail and then have this add to workflow in there 50 times if you wanted to, but you just have one spot where you change the workflow or the voicemail, or one spot where you're changing the Air AI credentials. If you're selling an Air snapshot or doing setups like I am with clients and they want to build out drips, we can copy this same workflow structure from account to account, and then we just need to go to one place to change their specific credentials for that business. And it just really keeps things a lot more simpler, especially if you're an agency, but still is very helpful if you're not an agency. And if you're building this stuff out, chances are you're going to want to make changes, and it just helps you be able to go to one spot to make changes. So hope that made sense. This is a little bit of advanced strategy. I say advanced, but it's also very simple if you understand the concept. So that's your tip for Monday. Have a great week, guys.